Today I'll attempt to cover the entirety of Indian history, starting with the conquest of Alexander the Great and ending with the rise of the British Raj. Alexander led his armies into India where he fought the Battle of the Hydaspes River against King Porus of the Paurava kingdom. Despite winning this battle decisively, his campaign was turned back due to a mutiny by his soldiers. One of the reasons for this mutiny was that they had heard tales of a legendary and huge empire deep into northern India. This empire truly existed. It was called the Nanda Empire. It was most well known for being overthrown by Chandragupta Maurya, founder of the Mauryan Empire. Chandragupta was a great conqueror, and at the end of his reign, the Mauryans held almost all of northern India. The other relevant emperor from this dynasty was Ashoka Maurya, often known as Ashoka the Great. Ashoka was a known sadist. He even had a torture chamber disguised as a beautiful palace, which he called Ashoka's Hell. I don't know if he called it that, but somebody called it that, and that's the term that comes up if you Google. You get Ashoka's Hell. So, yeah. After winning the Battle of Patliputra, Ashoka converted to Buddhism as he saw the pain and suffering that he had inflicted. He started to focus less on external conquest and more on the happiness of his people. And then he died and became the last relevant emperor of the Maurya dynasty. Why did he die? I don't know. I couldn't find a reliable source that said why. Maybe it was tuberculosis. Anyway, the last emperor of the Maurya dynasty was Brihadrata. Please do not name your children Brihadrata. Please. It is an awful name. His name, in fact, was so bad that he was overthrown by this guy named Pushyamitra Shunga, who founded the Shunga dynasty. His name wasn't much better. And then nothing important happened for 500 years. Still waiting for something important to happen. Still waiting for something important to happen. Oh look, it happened! This thing was the Gupta Empire, founded by a guy named Chandragupta. But I thought Chandragupta was the guy from 600 years ago, you're asking. They had really similar names, I don't know why they're different people. Chandragupta's epithet was Maharajadiraja, which means Great King of Kings. Seems a bit dramatic, but alright man. Shockingly, Chandragupta's son was relevant too! His name was Samudragupta and he was a legendary conqueror. He conquered a lot of stuff. His gold coins and some pillar inscriptions seems to suggest that he was also an accomplished poet. Versatile guy, I guess. Like poetry so much in fact that he even had an epithet about it. Kaviraja, which means king of poets. His other epithet was Sarvarajoketa, which means exterminator of all kings. Once again proving that the Gupta emperors had no freaking chill. Very impressively, this guy also had a relevant son, Chandragupta II. They're running out of names. This guy was a legend. Was so good that one of his titles was Vikramaditya. Vikramaditya was a legendary king of ancient India whom all Indian kings should aspire to. He was really, really, really good at militaristic conquest. He also had the famous poet Kalidasa as his court poet. According to some sources, this doesn't seem to be 100% verified. But then again, what is? So make your own decision, I guess. Just in case you don't know who Kalidasa is, he was a legendary Sanskrit poet who is widely regarded as the greatest writer in that language. His most famous play is Shakuntala. You've probably heard of it, it's actually really famous even outside of India. He also wrote two other plays. Malavikagnimitram, which involves two people and is very weird actually. And Vikramorvashiyam, which is also somehow weirder. Other famous Gupta scholars include Aryabhata, Varahamihira, and Vatsyayana. And while he wasn't really quite relevant, I want to talk about the Gupta emperor Skandagupta because I really like his name. He was considered to be the last great Gupta emperor, and that's all that matters about him, except for that fabulous name. By the way, I have no idea how any of these people died. As far as I can tell, they just kind of did. Maybe it was tuberculosis. Eventually, the Gupta Empire just kind of fell apart, and nothing relevant happened in India until 1,300 years later, when the British came and colonized. I'm using the term colonize very loosely here, by the way. The British definitely didn't bring civilization to a land that didn't have it. But as I've been explaining for the past 4 minutes now, India did have a civilization. The British simply brought their way, the Western European way of civilization, to a landmass that had it different. And I'm not passing any judgment on that. That's not the direction that I want to take this video. I'm just simply pointing that out. And now to get back on topic, the British used both diplomacy and conquest to get a hold of India. They governed India as they would govern any of their other colonies, and they named it the British Raj. Around the time of World War II, the citizens of the Raj started to protest. They wanted their independence, and they eventually received it on 15th of August 1947. 2 new countries were created from this, India and Pakistan. And those are the modern nation states which we still see today. And they also have nukes and are probably going to end the world.